So I want to go ahead and play this again because the first time that I played it, I didn't play it through, and there's actually a lot more to it because I was playing some of it during the stream, and I was just blown away at how amazing this was. So let's go ahead and get started and play this again.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Now it doesn't matter which door I pick, it's gonna say the same thing.
Oh goodness, I do believe he's lost his way. Now between you and me, I don't think he stood a chance in the first place. But he's having such a grand time here in these hallways, why should we bother him? Yes, it's all very amusing. And we laugh and we call our friends over and they laugh too, and soon the whole world laughs and laughs and laughs at the man who failed. But of course, that isn't for you. You, sitting there. What have you gained? Do you know this man? Do you know anything about him? Oh, of course not. Now, if I could truly put you in his shoes to show you the paths he walked and the choices he made, but we both know that isn't possible. Not yet. Soon, you will be the one to walk. The controls will be in your hands. Soon, we will find out if your friends turn and laugh at you, just as they did with him. Oh, I think I'm going to enjoy this. When you find out how alone you truly are, I will be laughing more than anyone. Very soon now.
My man is just evil, bro. What did I ever do to you? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just over here chilling.
But there's a twist. Are you ready for it? Watch him closely, because in and amongst his aimless meandering, I think he's actually beginning to discover something. He's getting closer to an answer, an explanation, an exit. He is beginning to earn his freedom. The end is nearly here. Let's play, everyone. Let's all play.
You'll find out when it's time to play the game. Which for members of the internet. Those not from the internet are advised to disregard this message, and more importantly, go down to your local electronics retail outlet and get with the times already. To those whom this message concerns, good to see you. I've been off the radar a bit long, haven't I? I know how hard this lonely period has been on you. But I'm so terribly busy working on a story that I think you'll just die for. You see, I was upset to learn that many players found the original Stanley Parable to be confusing and contradictory. A far cry from the simple story of hope and redemption I had intended it to be. So to rectify this mistake, I'm taking steps to ensure that this updated version will be streamlined to remove any incoherent plot lines. Expect every new piece of content to seamlessly answer all the questions you may have been left with after playing the first game. It's my hope that this installment will fix the somewhat embarrassing mistakes of the original while proving definitively to the world that a video game can make you cry. And I know our mutual friend Stanley would be devastated if he were left out, which is why he's graciously volunteered to star in it once again. Or I'm sure he will anyway. But until we ask him to make that choice, I offer you this and future updates, and I remind you that one's time is better spent living than waiting. After all, with so many doors to prepare, it could be quite some time before this story is fully cooked. So, go out and be productive. Make some choices. Enjoy the hours you have left. Perhaps you could even spare a thought for Stanley, sitting there with nothing but himself and his buttons, day after day. He's been getting rather comfortable, I think, as humans tend to do when the scenery stops changing. And for the moment, we'll let him stay that way. After all, you and I both know things are about to change rather drastically. I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise for either of you. But you'll find out. You'll find out when it's time to play the game again.
So you're supposed to play again, alright? And that's what we're gonna do. And watch what happens this time.
This is the story of a man.
We're gonna skip this. This is like so cool.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So this time there's actually gonna be a meeting room. See, it's different.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
That's crazy.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
And who is this her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is. puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then, I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
This man is just evil, bro. I don't understand. I think you go this way. I feel bad for Stanley, man. Dude is just trying to work, that's all. What the world? I think you go this way.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Yes, I'll be back. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Now it starts over.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What happens if I go here?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
It's my first time being here, actually.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. At this point, Stanley's obsession with it, but at last he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Or maybe not. What happens if I go here?
And they were so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh my gosh, why did I do this?
perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten.
I don't know if I should trust them or not trust them.
Stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Yeah, okay.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Oh my gosh, bro. I think I have to let the baby die. This is dark.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Well, Stanley, is this any better?
This is
At
hilarious.
last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
This is where I left off at.
This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect?
There's nothing
It could only
here.
be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
What the world? I'm done.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light? No, this is far more...
That man Steve! Oh,
I'm looking
snap.
for something more natural in here. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay.
Yo, that was actually really cool. Alright, so I think it just keeps starting over and over again, unless there's more to it that I don't know. But I've been playing it for like an extra 20 minutes and it seemed like I'm just repeating it. But this was so cool, man. I really can't wait to see where it goes. So well made, so fun, entertaining. I love it all. But yeah, that's it for the video. I am gonna upload 2 videos tomorrow, so look out for that. And perhaps I might post another video today. No promises though. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, a like is appreciated. Comment down below what you thought about this level, because I think it's absolutely amazing. And support the creator right here. Follow him and do what you must do. And if you enjoy my content, a sub is appreciated. Peace.